Welcome back. In this video, we will talk about three key Liquid concepts: tags, filters, and objects, and how they work together to build a powerful storefront. Alright, so before to do that, we will open VS Code. So I'm gonna open my terminal. I will go to the place where I have my project. So you can do also. Mine is on Shopify frontend, and I called it YouTube Learning Liquid, and we will open it with VS Code. So once we are here, I will start Shopify development server. Command is Shopify theme dev. I don't have to pass the -- store. I will press on T on my keyboard. I'm going to open this hot link here. Let me go back to VS Code. I'm going to reduce this terminal. All right, so let's start. What is tags? Well, tags in Liquid define logic and even control the flow in Liquid templates. The tags use curly brace and percentage sign, okay, like you can see here. You have to note that they don't output anything themselves. Instead, they control what gets rendered. Remember that every time you want to write a logic, you need to use curly brace and percentage sign. Some example of the tags: we have the if, we have the for, we have the assign, we have the capture, we have the liquid, we have the cast, we have the unless tag, and etc. How to write a tag? Remember that a tag, it's used to write a logic. If you want to define a variable, it is a logic. If you want to write an if statement, it is a logic. If you want to write a for loop, it is a logic. If you want to add some other type of conditions like case or unless, it is still a logic. To write a tag, the conditions is you need to use the curly brace and percentage sign like this. Okay, so let's go back to learning that liquid, and we're gonna try some example here. So I will go back to learning that liquid. It's inside the snippet that we created earlier, and we will try to replicate this example here. Is a if statement checking the product title is equal to something. Okay, so let's go back here. I want to write a logic. I'm gonna open the curly brace. I will add the percent sign, and I'm gonna write if like this, and we have this auto completion that shows me already how it's going to go. We did not learn if statements yet, okay, so don't worry about it now. We will talk about it on the next videos. So just for you to understand now, so we have open if, and we need to close it with the end if here. If you don't close it like this, you're gonna have an error. Let's write here something. So let's write product that's title and is equal. So let's go back to the hot link here, do slash, follow along, collections, you press enter. So we have two collections here. I will choose one of them randomly. Let's go this hydrogen, and I will choose, let's say randomly again, I will choose this one, for example. Okay, and I will just copy this name, and I'll go back to my VS Code, and I'm gonna paste it here. So this is just an if statement. So we say if the product title is equal to the collection snowboard, so we want to output a message. So let's say this is the best snowboard in the world, something like this. If there is nothing, we can write an else. Don't worry about the syntax now. We can say this is a normal snowboard. Okay, so if we save it and we go back to the hot link here, and again we are in the product/collection. Let's go back again to the home page. I'm gonna remove that. Okay, so here we get this is like a normal snowboard. Let me wrap all this condition here on inside an H1. We have here this is a normal snowboard. Just let me reduce this page like this so we can see what we're doing. We are now in home page. I want to go to /collection, and from here I will choose one of the collection. Remember it is 2 here. If you followed along and you installed the skeleton theme, you're gonna have like 2 collection like this, because I removed the home collection as well. So I will click on this one here, and I will choose this collection snowboard. This is a normal snowboard. So if I click here, we're gonna have a different output. So this is the best snowboard in the world. I wanted to write a logic, so I used the if tag here to write some logic. Okay, and if this logic is true, it's outputting this message. If it is not true, choose another one, it's giving me another message. So that's a logic I wanted to write. If I want to write, let's say, a variable, for example, okay, we're gonna learn that in the next video. We can say variable, we give it a name. We can say say my name. This is again another logic, and we can save it here. We can say John, and that's a logic. So let's go back to the liquid course.md. So we saw some example tags. We have the if, the for, the assign, etc. So the part 2 is how to output and modify the output with the filter. Okay, so every time that you want to render information or to output something, you use the double curly brace delimiter. Just like we saw on the previous example, we created a variable is here. So this we define the logic, and if we want now to output this variable data, we need to use the double curly like this and to reference the variable in this example flow. If I save it, we're going to have John here. The next we have the filters. Okay, so the filters is used to modify the outputs of a variables. Okay, so let's say the same with this example, we have John here. Let me wrap it inside an H1 so it's like easy to see. We have John here. So let me go back to the home page again. Okay, so we have John here. So let's say we want John to appear in uppercase. I'm gonna use a filter. So how to use a filter? We need to use this pipe like this. So this is accessing a filter, and here I can now use some filter tag. Okay, for example uppercase, and it's gonna output John in uppercase. We have different example. Let's say we have a product. We want the product to be in uppercase, and we want to remove some text from that product. And as you can see here, we have two pipes. Okay, this one, and this is called chaining filter. So you can add as many filter as you want, and it's gonna output like what you're looking for. You just have to know that filter are placed inside the tag. So filter are always placed inside these double curlies and separated by the pipe, just like we said earlier. Okay, and they are parsed left to right, so they're reading like this. So first is going to be the product title, just like we see here in this example. So first is going to be the product title, and then once it gets the result, it's going then to turn it to uppercase. Then this is going to become, it should be something like this. Okay, so it makes sense. This normal case is going to become uppercase, and here if we say remove example, and it's going to output here just the sum. All right, so let's see an example like this. We'll go to VS Code. I will comment this out, and I will go back to the hot link here. I will do /collections. I will choose one of the collection, let's say automated collection, and I will choose the collection snowboards because this is a product now, and I'm going to copy this one. Okay, so I'm gonna say here I'm going to output the product that's title. So if I go on top, we have the collection snowboard, which is this one here. It's matching. So let me put it inside an H1, something like this. So we have the collection snowboards. All right, it is right here. Okay, so now let's say we want the collection snowboard, this title, to be uppercase. So we need to use filter for that. I'm gonna add a pipe, and I will say uppercase. If I save it, we're going to have the collection snowboard in uppercase. All right, so let's say now I want to remove the name, the text collection. Okay, or I want to remove like the collection text, all of them. I just want to have snowboard. So we need to chain the filter. So I'm gonna add another filter here, and I can use the filter replace, like we like we saw here, remove, and it takes one argument, and it should be a string. So we're gonna come here, and we're gonna add the filter remove. There's plenty of them, and we need to add this to this sign here. I forget how to call that, and then it takes a string here, and then here we need to write exactly as we see here. Remember, it's reading from left to right. The result here, first of all, it is like normal case, and then when we add a filter, it becomes uppercase. If we want to remove this exactly, we need to use the text uppercase like this. If I save it, then we're gonna have only the snowboard. If you write something like this, like the collection, it's not going to work because it doesn't match at all. Okay, so this is out of the way. The third thing that we need to see is the object. Object represents the data that you're working with. We saw in all this example, I'm using product that's title. Okay, so this is an object, and how do you access this object? Just like we also saw previously, we use the double curly brace. Okay, so we're still in the product page here, and I'm gonna come just below. I'm gonna duplicate this H1. I will remove these filters, and I'm gonna say here product.price, and it's going to give me the product price. But as you can see, it is not formatted in the correct way, so we need to add filter again. So I'm gonna add a pipe, and I'm gonna say money. Okay, so if I save it, and you're gonna see it is looking the same as we do have here. All right, so the last things that we need to talk about is understanding the scope in Liquid. Scope determine where object can be accessed. So we have global scope and we have contextual scope. Some objects in Liquid are globally available. For example, your own variable. For example, some already pre-built variable in Liquid, something like shop.name is accessible anywhere in the page. For example, page.title and etc. Okay, so these are accessed anywhere in the page. Other objects are context specific. They only exist inside certain templates or loops. Okay, so for instance, the product object is only available on the product page. As you can see, I have here like product.title and product.price. They are only accessed inside the product page. If I remove this product/collection snowboard link, if I go back to the home page, I don't have any result here. To access it, I need to use a for loop to go to the collection.product, then I can have access of that inside the for loop. The same with the collection. I can go back here, I can write something like collection.title. Okay, I'm not gonna have anything here. All right, but if I go back to collections, I'm not gonna have anything as well because there is many collections here. But if I click on one of the collection, I'm gonna have the name of the collection. Just bear in mind that some objects are accessible only in some parts and some are globally accessed. For example, this is like a collection for loop. I can access it even in the home page, but only inside the for loop. Okay, so let's copy this example. Let's try it here. All right, if I go back to the home page and I save here, and let me hide the first one, you can see that I can access let me hide again this one also. You can see that I can access two collections here. Just let me wrap it inside the preg. I need to close here. There you go. So you can see that I can access this collection because I have two collections in this skeleton website, and I can do it even in the home page, but it is only inside the for loop. It's not globally scoped. It is only inside the for loop. All right. In the case you wondering where I'm getting the code about the filters, the code about the object, you can go to shopify.dev, and on the themes here you have create a theme using Liquid. So click on it, and just below here you have the Liquid. So view the Liquid reference. So click on it. Here you can learn Liquid by yourself if you want to too. Here you have the object. Okay, so you have object here. We're gonna see that like on the future video. We're gonna explore some of them, and we have the filter right here. So we have the filters for arrays, for the cart, for the collection, for the color, for the customer, the defaults, for the font, and many other filters. All right, so we will have a video about filters later on. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of them, some few in array and some few in string, the important one that you should know. And when you're gonna have time, you're gonna come to double check it by yourself. So thank you guys for watching this video. Okay, and I'm going to see you on the next one where we're gonna learn finally what is a variable. So if you liked this content, please subscribe to the channel and give me a like, and I see you on the next one. Bye.